Does Marvel have secret plans to get the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU? The MCU could be getting more fantastic than ever. See where I'm going with this, y'all? In a recent interview at Wizard World Nashville, the rootin' tootin'est Wizard World this side of the Rio Grande, comics legend and sweater enthusiast Stan Lee expressed his hopes that one day all his creations would finally be united under a single cinematic banner. Thanks to the folks over at comicbook.com, the Spider-Man creator had this to say about the future of Marvel. Sooner or later, they're going to get the rights back to all of our characters, said Lee, referring to the MCU, which is now home to the majority of the major Marvel characters, with a few notable holdouts. He then added, they're working on it, and they're still making X-Men movies and stuff. Don't worry about it. You'll get more Marvel superheroes than you'll have time to look at in the next few years. Well, guess what, Stan? No one cared to look at the Inhumans. Sorry, Inhumans, we read the X-Men, we've watched the X-Men. The X-Men is one of our favorite comics, but Inhumans, you are no the X-Men.
What the?
As for the rest of his comments, could any of the characters housed by other studios eventually be folded into the MCU? Well, as Lee points out, Fox is, in fact, still making X-Men movies, and with Deadpool and Logan both proving mega profitable recently, it's unlikely that the studio will want to let go of them anytime soon. But there is another Marvel super team that Fox has been screwing up for over a decade now, the Fantastic Four. And just like Sony eventually turned to Marvel for guidance after their half-baked attempt to reboot Spider-Man, we could see Fox doing the exact same thing for Reed Richards and company. They wouldn't be returning the Fantastic Four to Marvel wholesale, but they would enter into a shared custody agreement, just like the one that produced Spider-Man Homecoming. Fox would produce, Marvel would handle the creative, and we'd all get to lose our collective minds when the Thing and the Hulk finally brawl in Avengers 17, the Infinity + 1 Wars. But of course, this may all just be wishful thinking on the part of Lee at the moment. Kevin Feige is still the real man in charge of the MCU, and the last time he was questioned about the Fantastic Four joining his team, he said, never say never, but then specified that he meant technically anything is possible. Superman and James Bond could maybe show up in the MCU one day. Heck, so could Diane Lane and John Cusack from Must Love Dogs for that matter, but just because something could happen doesn't mean it will happen, except for the Diane Lane, John Cusack thing, because we here at Nerdist are confirming exclusive must-love Hulks for Christmas of 2020, y'all. Yeah! On board for that. But all must-love dog references aside, Feige is being pretty wishy-washy on the subject, which means it's still probably a long way from happening, if ever. But if it were to happen, it seems like the upcoming MCU Phase 4 would be the perfect time to bring the Fantastic Four into the fold. And not just because Marvel announces Fantastic Phase 4 would make a great variety headline. Now, the little we know about Phase 4 right now is that it will be reaching further into the Marvel Cosmic Universe, and the Richards family has always been a nice branch between Marvel's cosmic characters and their Earthbound ones. Introducing them could be a cool way to keep the two parts of the MCU tethered together. But what do you folks think? Do you believe what Lee is saying? Could Fantastic Four come home to the MCU? And did any of you watch Inhumans in theaters? Let's discuss. And be sure to like and subscribe if you liked today's story. And did you check out our clip of Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series, read lines made famous by other Batman actors on Mothership? Then get on it. And while you're at it, check out Mothership, our weekly team-up with Geek and Sundry. You can watch every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on Nerdist YouTube, Geek and Sundry's Twitch, and ProjectAlpha.com.